Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest Carson's Take 5 with Ryan and Sonu. Sonu, we're titling this one, Stocks at All-Time Highs? Now what? It took over 2 years, but just recently, we finally hit all-time highs on the S&P 500. Sonu, what'd you do to celebrate?
I'm hoping to just get more in all-time highs. But I think I had, if I'm allowed to say, I had a drink that evening. I mean, it's been a long time coming. So,
Yes. January 2nd, 2022 was
and it
the
was a
last time we
Friday.
hit.
I should know it happened on a Friday, so that helped.
That's true. It was a Friday. But January 2nd, 2022 was the last time, January 3rd, apologies. January 3rd, 2022, last time hit an all-time high on the S&P, more than 2 years. Now, here's some things to think about for everyone out there. The question we've had a lot, Sonu, wow, stocks are up a lot, and they are. They had a great year last year, now at all-time highs. Should I be worried? Should I look to sell? Should I, what should I do? Well, here are just some things to think about. 1957, Sonu, is when the stock market, when the S&P became 500 stocks. So I kind of started my studies then. We've had almost 1,200 all-time highs since then. There's been a lot of all-time highs. They actually happen one every 14 days. Historically, do you see an all-time high? So it's not something to really be scared of. It's not something that's abnormal. We've seen streaks and years with a lot of all-time highs. One more to think about here. If you pick any random all-time high out of the ballpark 1,200 or so, the returns 6 months to a year later are about average. Here's what matters, though. When you go more than 1 year without all-time high, like we just did, we just went 2. I found 13 times, Sonu, that happened after the all-time high took place 1 year later. Stock market, S&P was up 12 times, up over 12% on average, even a better median return. Put a bow on this and I'll let you talk. A long time with an all-time high, and then you make one, could actually be one of the biggest reasons people should be bullish, because then those all-time highs stack on top of each other. And then you want to add there, or maybe go the economic route, the why it justifies all-time highs, whatever you want to talk about.
No, I think, look, momentum begets momentum, right? Everything you just pointed out, like, should you be worried about all-time highs? Probably not. I mean, there's no certainty in this business, but you're always thinking in terms of probabilities. And if you want to hit an all-time high, you're more likely to get yet another one. I mean, last Friday we hit all-time high, and then Monday we got another one, right? I mean, I don't know where things shake up, but chances are we continue to hit them. It's not a certainty, but like I said, momentum's good. And look, people are, I think, an underrated factor of the stock market rallying since October, your birthday, right, Ryan? October 26th, 27th, is that, everyone in America feeling better. I mean, consumer sentiment has jumped, by the highest in over the last 2 months since 1992. So that's significant. That's positive. And we know consumers have already been spending. I mean, we just got retail sales data over the last 3 months. If you look at core retail sales, take out the volatile stuff like gas stations purchases, things like that. Last 3 months, retail sales have been growing more than 5%. So if you think about what's the underlying speed of the economy, it's more than 5%. Now you adjust for inflation. Inflation's running close to 2.5%. So real GDP growth, real economic growth, right? So economic growth after adjusting for inflation is probably running along trend about 2.5%. That's pretty good.
No, it's really good. You think about it here for investors listening. Stock market at all-time highs. You can actually get something on cash now. Now, believe me, the Fed's probably going to start to cut later this year, so you won't get quite as much, but that's better than the decade or so we had 0% on cash. Bonds are starting to come back. You're getting something there. The economy's strong. And then, again, coming back to this, the Fed hiked rates a lot to slow down the economy, to slow down inflation. Well, do we really need rates as high as they are right now with inflation coming back? The answer is probably not. And we think, again, now the Fed can start to cut, which should be a positive overall for a lot of the investors out there listening to this week's Carson's Take 5. So, we've got about a minute to go. I mean, we've obviously been more optimistic. If people have listened to these, we've been doing these for a while now. What is something in the last minute or so that could upset the apple cart? And I hate to say that we don't see coming, because that's the definition of a black swan, but what's one of the things we maybe see coming that could upset some of our optimistic view?
One is if the Federal Reserve keeps interest rates high for too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always some weakness in certain pockets of the economy. And hopefully, to your point, right? If inflation's coming down over the last 3 months, safe to say core inflation, if you strip out energy and food, but even if you keep them there, it's running below 2%. And then the question, to your point, is like, why should the Fed keep interest rates close to 5.5%? There's room to cut. Now, if they don't cut, I think, there could be more weakness that feeds on each other, and then we could be in a negative feedback loop, right? But hopefully we avoid that.
No, agreed there. So again, this was this week's Carson Take 5. Hey, everyone, stocks are at all-time highs. You know, it's been a long road. It's been a lot of fears, a lot of rough nights, I'm sure, for a lot of people. Like October 22 was not easy when you're in a bear market, but we've come back. And once again, you got to trust the resolve of our country, the ingenuity of our country. And again, long-term investors historically have been rewarded. We're going to have bull markets. We're going to have bear markets. But the good news is after bear markets, if you're patient, you're likely going to get back to all-time highs where we are. And again, we think there's still more good times coming the rest of 2024. So we'll see everybody next week. Take care. Thank you.